the other disciples were literally traveling the then known world. Thomas preaching the gospel in India, Peter was in Rome. While the book of Acts mentions that John was present during Pentecost, after that he barely gets a mention in Scripture until the books he writes at the end of the New Testament. The book of Acts records that John was present during Pentecost, but after that he barely gets a mention in Scripture until John had a few... The book of Acts mentions that John was present during Pentecost, but after that he barely gets a mention in Scripture until the books he writes at the end of the New Testament. Whilst the other disciples were literally traveling the then known world, but John needed his own version of a wilderness experience. All right, we've got 2.5 paragraphs of this episode, plus 3, but I think we need rest. Yeah.
They have like sliced vegetables and fruits, and then they have sauce where they put
just raw stuff.
Butterfly over there.
It's like a tiny little grocery store with like.
It's like a 7-Eleven. You speak Greek too?
Yeah.
Yeah, the best. But me, I don't speak Dutch. I have my son and he explained. Okay. Okay. Enjoy your stay, yeah? Enjoy your stay in PATMOS.
Thank you.
So we're back at Petra Beach. Yeah, well, Jasper at the top. Can you hear me? Finish these recordings.
I think it might be a better cave because you just see the sea.
John was able to turn a negative situation into a
What is this now in the middle? 1, 2, 3.
into a the traditional site where John received
2, 3, go.
here on the Isle of Patmos.
1, 2, 3, go.
John was able to turn a negative situation into a blessing for himself and the Christian church. Back then, it would have been a barren place, but also a beautiful place, and a place where John was able to commune with God.
Can appeal like this side. Half that, half this.
Yeah, that looks. Have you still got an appeal to do?
Yeah.
That's a really good shot. For God, and urgently is writing, beloved, let us love God, and also reiterated the point that we ought to love in.
Do some of those too.
Can you redo the one about the oil shot in case that one? Okay. Here on Patmos, John experienced trials and obstacles, but these could not shake his faith. Beloved, let us love God. And also reiterated the point that we ought not love in word, but in deed. John lived a long and faithful life, and at the end of his life, he came to realize and reflect on the words of John to love one another.
2, 3, azione.
Here on the Isle of Patmos, John experienced trials and obstacles, but these could not shake his faith. He reiterated the point that we ought not love in word, but in deed. John lived a long and faithful life. May we be faithful to God and serve Him amidst the trials and adverse circumstances that come our way. And may we reflect on and live out the words of John to love one another. That's the take. All right, guys, let's go eat.
What do you think of this building here? I think it's a house.
You reckon it's a house?
I think it's a house.
I think John lived there, man.
Yeah, I think John lived here.
Here we're standing on the Isle of Patmos, and here you can see the doorway to the old house where John the Revelator lived. He lived here on this rocky island, and you can see that there's some holes here where he would put his pita breads in the morning, and he would put them there. There's a stairway up along the side of the house there, where he would walk up there. He would go to that cave up there, and there he had his visions of revelation. Here on the Isle of Patmos. This is the
Oh, I'm John. Oh, the bad cut.
Subscribe to us on Lineage and donate.